Well, boys and girls, you made it. This is GMS Math, my YouTube channel. I highly recommend you subscribe, not because I'm trying to hit a certain number of subs or I care about the likes or anything, but because I post videos that are going to be muy helpful to you throughout the year. So let's talk about my class. Again, I'll be teaching your Math 7 or your pre-algebra class if you're online. And my class grades are split into 4 categories. The first category is going to be something called a bell ringer, and that's 10% of your grade. A bell ringer is something you do every day when you come into class. It's not going to be hard, usually something we're going over in class. And then on the other side of the bell ringer, there's some math that's just spiral review. And on Fridays, I give you all of the answers. So if you had the answer right, good job. If you had the answer wrong, change it to the right answer that I'm giving you in class. And if you didn't know and you left it blank, put in the right answer. So by the end of the 5 minutes on Friday when we go over it, you should have 100% because your teacher literally just gave you the answers. You'd be surprised at how many kids don't get 100%. Even though I just gave you all of the answers. So anyway, on Friday, I'll collect a grade on those. That's 10% of your grade. Another 10% of your grade is homework, or I like to call them assignments, because in school, a lot of times I'll say, okay, get to the homework, and somebody will say, I'm not supposed to do my homework unless I'm at home. So I just call them assignments, and if you don't get them done in class, then you're supposed to get them done elsewhere, like home. Those are usually journal pages. And if you look on my YouTube channel, I go through all of the journal pages. So if you just watch the video, I talk through all of the problems, solve them all. Again, you should get 100%. You could even watch one of those videos on like 1.5 time and get all the answers. Do listen to the explanation, though, because it is to help you learn the information. A lot of kids don't look at the YouTube channel for those because they just work them out on their own. That's another option. If you're at home doing this online, I gave you a packet of all of the journal pages for chapters 1, 2, and 3 before school even started. And then we'll either get you the actual journal, if those come in, those have been ordered. But if they come in, I'll get those to you. And if they don't come in, I'll make up some other packets and you can come and pick those up. For those of you coming to in-person classes, these are things that you'll be getting in class. Again, unless the journals come in, and I'll give you one of those. Either way, if you watch the video for journal pages, then you can fill in the answers as I go along with you, and then you'll have those done and handed in on time. I mean, literally your teacher's doing your homework for you. I did take all of the videos off of my YouTube channel or private. I made them all private, so you can't see them except for Chapter 1. So once we get to Chapter 2, I'll make all of those public again, but you can look through the ones for Chapter 1 and see there are journal pages there, a review lesson that we'll talk to when we get to the end of the chapter. And actually, I'll have a lesson for each section as we go along in the year. But right now, the journal pages are on there for you. And then there's the third part of your grade, and that is this 20% that is your end of the marking period exam. So at the end of the marking period, you'll have an exam over everything that we've learned that marking period. That's worth 20%. We'll review in class. The last category is tests and quizzes, or quizzes and tests, or I kind of use those interchangeably. But that's 60% of your grade. We take quizzes and tests throughout the marking period. Usually a quiz, I say a quiz, halfway through the chapter, and then a test at the end of the chapter. So that's just not really a difference, but whatever. And so that's 60% of your grade. The nice thing about that, so I gave you all the answers on the bell ringers. I gave you all the answers on the journal pages, so assignments or homework. The end of marking period exam, we review for before you take it. And then these tests and quizzes. I actually even make these hard to do poorly on because you take them, and hopefully you do very well the first time. that's the best. But if you miss a few or even one or a lot or whatever, I circle the ones you miss, I hand it back to you, and then what you have the opportunity to do is go back and fix all of those. If you fix them, and by fix them I mean you get a lined piece of paper, you rewrite the problem, you show all of your work, and you come up with the right answer. If you do that, you get 70% of that grade, that point back. So instead of a whole point for that problem, you get 0.7, which is a majority of it. If you miss it again, I circle it again, you get a third chance to get this thing right. Mostly because I really want you to understand this problem. I don't just give you problems to give you problems. I give you problems so I want you to understand how to do them. If the third opportunity you get it right, you still get half of that point. So as long as you make the corrections and get those quizzes and tests back to me, you are almost assured of getting a good grade in my class. So here are the 4 categories: 10%, 10%, 20%, and 60% for 100% of your grade. And I'll tell you that the things that you can do to help yourself be very successful in math class this year is, number 1, show up to class. Attendance, it's not part of your grade, but poor attendance usually equals poor grade, okay? Miss a day, miss a lot. Don't be the student that comes in and says, I was gone yesterday, what did we do? I'm going to be like, math, that's what we did in a whole class worth work. So I can't take this whole class to teach you. I will try to catch you up when we have time, but just be in school. And because I'm posting lessons online for the online class, if you miss a day of in-person class, you can watch that lesson online. So really, not much of an excuse for missing class. You might not be there in person, but then if you're not, watch it online so that you know what we're doing and you know what we did in class. And then another thing that you can do to help yourself is get things done when they're due. It might just seem like one paper, and you're like, oh, big deal, I'll hand that one in late. But they have a tendency to like snowball and pile up, and then all of a sudden it's like, I owe you 7 papers, I could never get those done. Well, I didn't tell you to wait until you had 7 papers to hand in. Hand them in when they're due. The last thing I would say is, if you miss any on a quiz or test, and usually everybody misses one once in a while, get your corrections done the next day and hand them in. It's amazing how much corrections will help your grade, but don't let those go until the end of the marking period. Get them done right away and help your grade. We're going to have a lot of fun in class this year. You actually are going to have a lot of fun in class. You might be thinking to yourself, math class, school, I'm not going to have fun there. Well, we are going to have fun in math class. I love teaching. I love math. I love teaching math. And it's just kind of catchy. We just have a lot of fun in class, and we do a lot of learning along the way. So I can't wait to see you. Bring a pencil, bring some paper and a notebook, and a good attitude. And I will see you the first day of school. I can't wait to meet you. So enjoy the rest of your summer. Bye.